Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bella. If you're new here, what's up? It's nice to meet you. So today's video, I'm bringing you guys a tutorial on how I contour my nose. I get a lot of questions on how I do it, and I really wanted to share with you guys because you can literally go from having such a flat nose, like with no dimension, to looking like your nose had plastic surgery. I figured that this video would be super helpful for some people, so if you want to see how to contour your nose and how to basically finesse your genetics, then keep watching. Alright, so right now my nose is still wet with concealer and I have my under eyes baking, and usually I would already have my concealer on for this part, but I wanted to show you guys the process, so I waited. So I'm gonna get my concealer, and you guys can use whatever concealer you want to use. I'm just getting a really light one because it helps with the illusion effect. And I'm just gonna tap a little bit because it's a really small area. You don't need that much product. And I'm just gonna put some on the tip of my nose and then also on the bridge of my nose. And already you can see how much of a difference that's made. It's brought out the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose like tremendously. But I'm gonna take it a step further and still contour it with powder. So I like to bake my nose because I'm really oily, so I take the powder on a sponge and just press it all over. So to contour my nose, I use a bronzer, and I use the Balm Take Me Home bronzer, and I also use the ColourPop Talk to the Palm bronzer. This one's a little bit darker than this one here. Now to contour my nose, I like to use a brush like this one. It's just a little angled fluffy brush, or honestly you could use like a crease brush as well. It doesn't have to be angled. I'm gonna get really close for a second so you guys can see. All right, so this is kind of up close and personal. I'm sorry you gotta be this close, but I'm gonna take like a little bit of product on my brush at first. And the very first, I feel so awkward. The very first thing that I do is contour the bottom. I put a lot on the bottom. I put the most at this point on my nose, and I blend that down to the sides right here on top of my nostrils. That way it can give the illusion of a lifted nose. And since I liked my nose to be a little bit less wide than what it is, I'm gonna put some on the side of my nose as well, and it's gonna make a shadow. At this point I'll just like go ahead and wipe off the powder from the sides of my nose if it's getting in the way like it is right now. But I just make that shadow right here and make sure it's really blended out. So now that I have that first initial line down, I'm gonna switch to the other bronzer, the ColourPop bronzer, and I like to start on the sides of the tip of my nose so that I can get a guide for where the vertical lines go. So I just created that little button at the tip of my nose because that's the shape that I like to have. But you can make whatever type of shape you want. If you want your nose to appear more elongated, then you're gonna want the highlight to be further down on the tip of your nose. If you want your nose to look shorter and a little bit more buttoned and facing up, you can put the shadow lower and then put the highlight a little bit higher. That way the light hits different. And so the next step to create the vertical lines is you're gonna go into your eyebrow curve right here. I don't know what to call this. So you kind of have like this protrusion here of like bone at the edge of your eye socket. So you're just gonna follow that down from the front of your eyebrow and kind of make like a Y shape, if you can see what I'm doing here. And you want to make sure this is even, because if it isn't, you're gonna be able to tell. And so once you have that Y shape, you're gonna bring the lines down and then connect it to the edges of that circle that you made, and you have a shadow. So now the next step is to blend that out. I'm gonna take the powder down the sides of my nose and blend the shadow away from the center of my nose. That way the shadow can look a little bit more realistic and blend it out. So then I'm gonna take this brush. It's a little powder brush that has no product on it, and I'm gonna go on the edges of the inside of the nose contour and blend that out, and even around the outside edges as well. And this is pretty much all that I do. You would just finish it off with some nose highlight. That's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for you guys. But before I put any type of highlight on my nose, I usually put blush on it because that's just part of my routine. So I'm just gonna put some blush on the tip of my nose, and I usually bring that around the sides right here as well. And then for highlight, I'll just take whatever highlight I have on hand. Since the makeup look is a little bit more dramatic today, I'm going to be using Cocoa Bling because It's very bright and I love this highlighter. It's super cute. You guys still have a really close-up version of my face right now, I'm sorry. So you're just gonna take it, and I always put this higher up because I want more of a button-like nose. And then when you put on your nose highlight, you can make the highlight as long as you want your nose to appear. So if you want a shorter nose, you can apply a shorter amount of highlight, but I really don't care. I just like my nose to be shiny, so. And that's pretty much it for the nose contour. Yeah. All right, so that's basically it. There's not much more to it. I just finished off my face makeup with some cheek products, some highlights, some lipstick, you know, the works. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you'll come back for more. If you are new here and you liked today's video, help you subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thanks for returning. I'll see you in my next one. And with that, I love you guys so much. Peace out.